Good morning, dear students. In the previous class, I have taught you Vijayanagar Empire, and it is a very important empire of the South India. So, in the history of Karnataka, Vijayanagar Empire was established in 1336 Common Era, and their capital city was Hampi of Ballari district. And there are so many important kings are there. They are the Krishna Devaraya and the Prauda Devaraya, Harihara and the Bukka. These are the some important kings. And also, as we know, there are four dynasties. Yes, they are Sangama dynasty, Saluva dynasty, Tuluva dynasty, and Aravidu dynasty. And Harihara, he was from Sangama dynasty, and he was the first king of this dynasty. Yes, and then after Bukka came into power, and his son, his name is Kampana, he expanded his empire by defeating Sultan of Madurai, and this was explained in the Madhura Vijayam, and which was written by Kampana's queen. Her name is Ganga Devi. So this is all about Bukkaraya and Harihara and Kampana. So another prominent king is Devaraya. Yes, he is the famous king of Sangama dynasty, and he also defeated Reddy leaders of Kondavidu region, and he defended famous fort like Udgal fort and Raichur and Bankapura by fighting with the Ahmad Shah of Bahamani sultans. And his commander, his name is Lakkana Dandesh, defeated the kings of Kerala and Sri Lanka and collected treasures and tribute in cash form. And so many ambassadors visited to Vijayanagara Empire, and they stated their opinion. Among them, Persian ambassador Abdul Razak visited Vijayanagara kingdom during the Prauda Devaraya and stated that I have seen such a rich kingdom like Vijayanagara kingdom for the first time. Yes. And Prauda Devaraya, he had the title like Gajabendegara, Chatushamudradishwara, Ariraya Vibhada. These are the titles of Prauda Devaraya. Then after Saluva dynasty is there, and the Tuluva dynasty. Yes, in the Tuluva dynasty, Krishna Devaraya, he was the famous and greatest king among other Vijayanagara kings. Yes, and in this time, Robert Sewell stated that Krishna Devaraya was an uncommonly brave king, intelligent soldier, and diplomatic expert. He defeated his enemies and extended his empire in South India. So then after the Rakkas Tangadi battle or the Talikote battle. So it is a very important battle on 23rd January of 1565 Common Era. The Rakkasa Tangadi war began between the united army of sultans and the army of Vijayanagara on the bank of Krishna river, and Ramaraya was tied in this war. So this is all about the Vijayanagara Empire. So later on 3rd August of, that is the after the Talikota battle. Next, in the history of Karnataka, Vijayanagara Empire was established in 1336 and then later on 3rd August of 1347. The first Muslim dynasty, that is Bahamani dynasty, came to exist. Alauddin Hassan Gangu Bahman Shah was the founder of this empire, and battles were taking place continuously between Bahamani sultans and Vijayanagara kings. As you know, Talikote, that is the Rakasatangadi battle. Yes, it is a very famous battle. And inner conflicts rose in the dynasty, and by 1527 Common Era, five Shah dynasties came into existence. Yes, among them, Adil Shah of Vijaypur were prominent. Yes, there are so many dynasties, that is five dynasties. So among them, Vijaypura Adil Shah dynasty is very prominent. So main achievement of sultanates of this dynasty are discussed in our this class, that is the Bahamani Adil Shah. So in this session we are going to discuss about or learn about Bahamani Adil Shahs. So shall we start? Okay, fine. So Bahamani Adil Shah. So Bahamani kingdom was also established in the northern part of Vijayanagara Empire in 1347 Common Era. Yes, you can observe the green area. Yes, that shows Vijayanagara Empire, and the sky blue color, that is Bahamani kingdom. Yes, it is the northern side of the Vijayanagara Empire and it was established in 1347. And its founder was Alauddin Hassan Gangu Bahman Shah. Yes, the Bahmani kingdom was founded by Alauddin Hassan Gangu Bahman Shah. Bahman Shah was working in the army of Delhi Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Yes, so Bahman Shah was working in the army of Delhi Sultan. Yes, his name is Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So let us see Bahmani Sultans. Bahmani Sultans started ruling from 1347 to up to 1527 Common Era. And Bahmani kingdom had the parts of present Karnataka, Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, that is Telangana state also included under its rules. In the beginning, Kalaburgi and later Bidar were their capitals. Yes, Kalaburgi and Bidar were the capitals of Bahmani king. And Bahmani Empire was in northern part of the Krishna river and Vijayanagara Empire was in southern part of Krishna. Yes, as we know, Vijayanagara Empire it is in the southern part of the Krishna river and the northern part of the river of Krishna, that is known as Bahmani Empire. So in the Bahmani Sultans, Tajuddin Firoz Shah was the great Sultan in the Bahmani dynasty. Yes, Tajuddin Firoz Shah was a very important sultans among the Bahmani sultans. So Tajuddin Firoz Shah, he was ruled from 1397 to 1422 Common Era. He was a liberal and judicious and believer of God. Yes, he believed he was a believer of God and he is very judicious person. He made copies of Quran and edited it for his whole life. Yes, and he was a writer and he encouraged all languages and he was an expert in geometry and theology. Yes, He was a itself writer, and he also encouraged all languages, and he was expert in the subject that they are geometry and theology. Yes, what is theology? Yes, it is a study of religion. And also he sheltered many philosophers, poets, artists, and had honored them. And also he established an observatory in Daulatabad. Yes, where it is Daulatabad? Yes, that is in Maharashtra state. Yes, what he did? He established a observatory in Daulatabad. And also he propagated the beauty of his capital, Kalaburgi. Yes, as we know, beginning in the beginning Kalaburgi and then later Bidar were the capitals of Bahmani sultans. So Tajuddin Firoz Shah, he propagated the beauty of his capital, that is Kalaburgi, and he built a new city called Firozabad on the bank of river Bhima. Yes, in this picture you can see ruins of Firozabad. Yes, where it is Firozabad? Yes, so Firozabad, it was founded by Tajuddin Firoz Shah Bahamani. Yes, and the city of Firozabad about 30 kilometer south of Kalaburgi, and it lies in ruins today. It's situated on the bank of river Bhima. So Firozabad was initially intended to be a royal pleasure resort, but it also served as a halting stage for Bahmani troops on their campaigns. So he gifted many villages to a Sufi saint, Bante Nawaz, who arrived in the kingdom during his period. He concentrated on the development of ports, and as a result, foreign trade was encouraged. Yes, Bande Nawaz, he was a saint. He arrived in the kingdom during his period. Yes, during the Firoz Shah's period. Yes, and Tajuddin Firoz Shah, he concentrated on the development of ports, and therefore foreign trade was encouraged. Yes, this is all about Tajuddin Firoz Shah. So next one is Muhammad Gawan. He started ruling from 1463 to 1481 Common Era. All credits of making Bahmani dynasty great goes to Muhammad Gawan. Yes, there are so many credits of making Bahmani dynasty, and that all credits goes to Muhammad Gawan. Basically, he was a Persian and worked honestly as prime minister in the region of Sultanates Muhammad Shah III. Yes, basically he was a Persian, and he did a honestly work as a prime minister in the region of Sultanate Muhammad Shah III. Yes. So let us see some important factors related to Muhammad Gawan. So Muhammad Gawan captured Hubli, Belgavi and Goa from Vijayanagar Empire. So he was a very adventurous person, and he captured Hubli, Belgavi and Goa from the Vijayanagar Empire. So administration was according to the Islamic laws. Yes. So they followed Islamic laws, and according them the administration is going. And also he encouraged revenue and postal services. The revenue, yes, what it include? It includes the various tax systems. Yes. So he gave the most important to the revenue system and the postal service during his period. And also he fixed the taxes on the basis of land's fertility and irrigation facility, and tax was collected in cash. So in this time he fixed the taxes on the basis of land's fertility. That means, is the if the land is very fertile, the tax is also high rate. If the land is not fertile, the tax is very less. And the tax was collected in form of cash. So, and also he removed some taxes which were annoying the people. Yes. So there are so many taxes which people are not satisfied, or they are getting so many problems. So that types of taxes he removed and make the people happy or stressless. As a philosopher himself, Muhammad Gawan founded madrasa. Yes, madrasa, that is in Abidar. You can see the picture of madrasa. Yes, what is madrasa? Madrasa, that is a university. It is a educational center which was founded by Muhammad Gawan, and that is in Bidar. It encouraged Islamic religious and legal education. In that university, they taught or they teaches to the students, that is Islamic religions and legal education. And also astronomy, mathematics, history were being studied here. Free education and hostel facilities were provided. Around 3,000 manuscripts were in the library of madrasa. In that madrasa, there was a library. In that library, around 3,000 manuscripts are found. So this is a great contribution to the education. Next, Muhammad Gawan contributed a lot in making the Bahamani kingdom great. Regional leaders were jealous of his fame and conspired to have him murdered. So there are so many regional leaders, they are very jealous of his fame and conspired to have him murdered. On the Gawan's tomb, it is written that innocent Gawan was killed. Yes. So this is all about the contributions or the achievements of the Muhammad Gawan. So there is a small video related to the Bahamani kingdom. Can watch.
Mahmud Gawan, the founder of Bahamani Kingdom. The kingdom of Bahamani was established in CE 1347 by Alauddin Hassan. He was an officer of Muhammad bin Tughlaq who ascended the throne under the title of Alauddin Bahman Shah. Bahamani was the powerful Muslim kingdom. It stretched from northern Deccan to the river Krishna. The kingdom's first capital was Gulbarga, and then Bidar became its capital. The kingdom remained in power from CE 1347 and 1527. Between these periods, 18 Bahamani rulers ruled. The kingdom remained in war with the neighbouring states of Warangal, Gujarat, Malwa and Vijayanagar. There were a constant fight over the control of Raichur Doab between Bahamani and Vijayanagar kingdoms. The Doab was the rich source of revenue, so the conflict continued even after Bahamani was broken into 5 independent kingdoms. Raichur finally went to 5 independent Bahamani kingdoms after defeating Vijayanagar in the Battle of Talikota. Mahmud Gawan, 1463 to 1481. The Bahamani kingdom reached its pinnacle during the reign of Muhammad Shah III. The kingdom was looked after by the minister of Muhammad Shah named Mahmud Gawan. He served the 9-year-old king for 18 years. Gawan expanded the Bahamani kingdom by defeating the rulers of Konkan, Odisha and Warangal. He reorganized the revenue system by increasing the trade with Iran and Iraq. Gawan was a patron of learning. He built madrasa in the capital city of Bidar. Students from different parts of the world came to study in it. The Deccani Pardesi conflict was the constant problem faced by the kingdom. The problem led to the decline of the Bahamani kingdom. The Deccanese were nobles belonging to Bahamani kingdom, and Pardesis were the foreigners of Iran, Iraq and Syria who came and settled in Bahamani. Mahmud Gawan was Irani and Pardesi by origin. The Deccani nobles conspired against him in CE 1481 and he was executed on the order of the king. The successors of Mahmud Shah were weak. The control of the kingdom passed into the hands of the nobles. In the absence of strong rulers, the kingdom began to disintegrate. In CE 1527, the kingdom broke into 5 independent kingdoms: Berar, Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Bidar and Golconda. The 5 kingdoms kept on fighting among themselves. They were once united to defeat the kingdom of Vijayanagar. The kingdoms of Ahmednagar, Bijapur and Golconda were later annexed by the Mughals. Achievements: administration, art and architecture. The head of the administrative system was Wazir or the Prime Minister. The kingdom was divided into many provinces called Tarafs. Each province had a governor or Tarafdar or Amin. The governor's work was to collect the revenue. They had their own independent armies. Architecture. The Bahamani kingdom had a variety of architectural monuments including forts, tombs, mosques, palaces, madrasas and libraries. The most famous monuments are Jama Masjid of Gulbarga, Mahmud Gawan's Madrasa at Bidar, Gol Gumbaz at Bijapur. Hampi Case Study. Hampi was the capital city of Vijayanagar Empire, which lay on the banks of river Tungabhadra in Karnataka. Vijayanagar was the center of the largest and most powerful kingdoms of South India. It reached the peak of its glory under Raja Krishnadeva Rai. Some of the foreign travelers who visited India during the period were Niccolo Conti from Italy, Abdul Razak from Persia and Domingos Paes from Portugal. According to their description, the city was well fortified. It was naturally protected by rocky ridges and the river Tungabhadra. The monolithic sculptures and monuments along the temples are attractive because of their excellent workmanship. The architecture found at Hampi reflects the Hindu culture and splendor of Vijayanagar Empire. The Vithala temple, which is one of the most splendid temples, is situated on the banks of river Tungabhadra. It is known for its carvings that decorate them. This temple was built during the rule of King Devaraya II. The Virupaksha or the Pampapati temple is the main center of pilgrimage at Hampi. This temple is in ruins, but people still worship Lord Shiva here. The temple was renovated by Raja Krishnadeva Rai. The temple has several mandapas with paintings on the walls. The Karnataka government organizes Vijayanagara festival in December every year. The temples were also cultural centers that promoted sculpture, painting, dance, literature and devotional music. The remains of rows of shops on either side of the road leading to the temple suggests that temples were possibly a center of commerce as well. The glory of Vijayanagara came to an end in 1565 CE when its forces were defeated in the battle of combined forces of Bijapur, Golconda and Ahmednagar. The city was plundered and destroyed.